But what's cool is like being an actor. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. That's the first time I said that. Being an actor and a director.
We'll get the obvious out of the way. Is this something that was gestating for you for a while to actually want to get made, to do this as being a writer, director, star, and everything? How long has this been in the making for you?
A very, very long time. The long story short is it started about 10 years ago with a buddy of mine, J.J. Abrams, who really believed in me and gave me some wonderful advice, and even took a script of mine and passed it along, and that was great. And it's, I learned a lot. That didn't go through. That's Hollywood. It is what it is. And I kept persevering, but it never seemed to happen. And before I knew it, Kevin Smith, 10 years later, was like, you just need to go make the movie. So here we are.
And of course, you have so many guest appearances, cameos, whatever you wanted to call it, but your main cast is it's you, it's Tremaine. You prefer Tremaine or you prefer T-Man?
T-Man sounds dope.
All right. So it's you and T-Man, Reed and Mary, so like what was it about like this group that you wanted to have, and what was it about doing this with Logic that made it the right time to kind of jump into all this?
Man, you made me want to jump into this, bro. What you mean? This is my boy selected his homie, his motherfucking day one, to star in this movie next to him, and it was the most magical experience ever, man. It was so dope. And shout out to Mary and Reed, man. We all killed it, man. It was a great vibe.
I can tell you're a little nervous. I like it. I love it because I'm nervous.
Just a tick.
Yeah, Tremaine is my dog. I mean, the reason that I wanted to, it's like this. Imagine if I went into a studio. This is why I was like very like hesitant. And Hollywood is great. Like making movies is great, but it's a lot of hurry up and wait, and it's a lot of no's. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I'd been told no a lot, and I get it. Imagine if you're like an executive, right? And I'm like, hey man, I rap, but like I got this idea for a movie, and I wrote the script, and I want to direct it, and I want to produce it, and I want to star in it, even though I've never done any of those things before. And I want my best friend who's never acted in anything ever to do it.
Never.
And I want full creative control and final cut. You'd be like, fuck you. So that's why I decided to jump in and just do it with the people that I love and trust, like Liz Destro, my incredible producer.
Shout out to Liz.
Yeah, and Jordan and Dan.
Shout out to Jordan.
And everybody. Sorry, man, we're just hype.
But it's clear, it's clear. Like again, we call it semi-autobiographical, because clearly the character in a lot of ways is you, but this is not purely your life story in any way.
No.
But in the same breath, for T-Man, would you say that you on screen that's just you in general day after day?
For sure, it's definitely a lot of my personality in the character. Bob definitely wrote me in the script as being his homie every single day. We spend a lot of time together, so he knew where to put me and pull me and get me to say certain things, and we just had a good time, man. It's definitely T-Man enhanced a little bit.
Oh, a lot of bit. It's an extreme dramatization. It's very Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's very, so, and that was a big inspiration going into this, and especially from, for example, Judd Apatow and everything, all the people that he's worked with. I love that. Every time I see a lot of these movies, we're kind of just watching these people, but in different situations. That's how I took to acting in this role, because Kevin Smith was like, just be yourself. And then I realized, like, wow, all I need to do is be me, but as if I was in this specific situation, and I felt like it was very natural, and you did a great job.
Thank you, sir. Couldn't have done it without you.
Slay, bitch.
Yeah, it was great, man. We had a good time. We were just having fun on the camera, just playing, man, and, doing what we would do in those situations, and we just enhanced it, times 10 and had fun with it, and it's a wrap.
Well, talking again about Kevin also being the guy who kind of got it now off the ground after that 10 years, was there something about also working with him, from films that you loved of his previously that you kind of like, oh, this is going to be great because I can now also kind of take what he can tell me from behind the scenes, or he edited the film, right?
Yeah, he had never edited anybody else's film, so I can't believe that. Yeah, this is very much so a love letter, or at least the beginning, the first page, hopefully in a book that is a love letter of filmmaking to cinema, and I think about whether it's Do the Right Thing or Clerks or obviously Pulp Fiction, and I love dialogue. That's a really big thing for me. But when he pushed me, it was so cool because I wasn't like, oh, I'm just trying to make Clerks, because this is very different. But it is, kind of two guys talking a lot of shit who just so happen to work in a specific establishment. But outside of that, I think it's very different, but it does not exist without Kevin Smith. But it also doesn't exist without Spike Lee or Tarantino or Soderbergh or all these people that have a thumbprint on the film.
Well, I know there's so many inspirations for this and or stuff you have coming up, but is there one kind of film that you could think of in terms of Paradise Records, you go this is the kind of movie I would like people to not necessarily say this is like this, but I have you can see the inspiration coming from this.
I can't give you one, but a really wacky collab would be Airheads meets Dog Day Afternoon. So that's the vibe. Yeah, but in Empire Records. But black version.
You also, not just your friends, but you do have your dad in there as well.
Yeah.
Is there part of you that does feel still there are people still don't know my story, don't know about my background, so I have to kind of lay it out there for them because people can just do the same thing. This guy, the complexion doesn't look right, kind of thing. And, I'm not trying to say it in a way that sounds weird. It's just it's what you're used to.
It's all good, dog. I'm not weird. Yeah, I'm a white passing black dude. I understand. I get it. It's yeah. No, for me it wasn't really I need to explain myself because I've never felt the need to explain myself. You know what I mean? I look how I look, and everybody in my family's black, and I'm the only one who came out looking like I got left in a house fire or something. It is what it is. That's fine. And if anybody else has a problem with it, that's their problem. But having my dad in the film, it wasn't to be look, because anybody who wants, they could just look into the story and see who he is. I put my dad in the movie because a buddy of mine, Juicy J, was like, bro, your dad is hilarious. And he was like, you should put him in there. And then he goes, and then also it's really cool to be like, that's actually my father. So I guess, without question, I didn't do it for that reason, but I think that also, it's like two birds, one stone. What can you say when it's oh, that's actually his dad?
I gotta ask, and you can talk about the scene specifically, but again, so many cameos, so many people in here, and there are people you trust. You have the trust in T-Man that he's gonna do what he needs to do. But Oliver Tree's kind of somebody that necessarily hasn't done officially acting, that you want to call it. And I only know so much about him, but that was just the funniest goddamn thing I have seen in a long time. Just him spittling out of the balaclava and shit.
Oh, dude. I remember the moment before that happens. You remember that when he spits? Yeah. And Nolan North was doing this whole scene on a take on the phone. And so just before my buddy KB, my first AD, yelled action, I went up to, I just love shouting people out, man. Because it's a family. It's a family. It's a village, okay? This isn't my movie. It's our movie. You know what I'm saying? That's real. It's my movie. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I just remember going up to Oliver and being like, yo, don't swallow. And he's like, what? And then I'm like, don't swallow for 3 minutes and then just let it all out. And he got it. But I think that's why I love working with Tremaine. That's why I love working with Oliver Tree, because I see something in people. I see that, and even on my come up, in music, I remember being treated like a nobody. What the fuck is that? Everybody's somebody. Everybody's great. Is it really so difficult to treat people with respect and be nice and be kind? So I noticed that people were always trying to put me in some box or push me aside, and I was like, I'll never treat anybody like that, and I will always do my best to see people for who they are and their capabilities and what they have. So as long as I'm blessed to keep making movies, I'm gonna keep taking people that you might not, typically see or may have never seen in a film and shed light on them. But we gonna get some A-listers too, cuz.
Facts.
What about jumping in though in all of those chairs? Because you did write it, you're starring in it, you're directing it, from both your sides, from not expecting maybe what you'd expect in the first place.
He also financed the entire film himself. Let's not forget that part.
Yeah, just don't say no numbers. Don't forget to say numbers. We can't say no numbers. It's just millions and millions of dollars, but no, we can't say
20 million.
No, hell no.
Were there hurdles that you weren't expecting, both from you actually helming it and then also taking direction from him?
Man, well, I kind of had a cheat code because Bob is my best friend, so he could talk to me a little different than he could talk to everybody else on the set. So he was really pulling that character out of me and really, busting my ass really to get what he wanted as a director.
And then the crazy shit is Liz Destro also gave me a bunch of like recommendations for books. So I was reading David Mamet and Sidney Lumet and John Badham on directing and all this, like completely soaking it up. I was calling all the director homies I knew. I called J.J. Abrams. His number one piece of advice, because this has to do with all the hats, his number one piece of advice was have fun. Because I called him and I was like, yo, I really need you to give me some advice. He's like, man, I'm on the way to this Questlove party. I got 25 minutes. He doesn't talk like that, actually. But anyway, and so he told me that. And another thing that he told me, which is really wonderful, I don't know if I told you this, but it comes down to what I'm going to explain. He said, you have all these hats on, let alone just being a director. Everybody's going to come to you. Art department, props, wardrobe, your DP, constantly. And there's going to be fires to put out, because that's all filmmaking really is. It is quite a miracle that movies get made, because all the odds are stacked against you. And so he's like, everybody's going to come to you, and don't forget that you can always say, give me 5 minutes. And then you think about it and walk, and it's okay. And so I applied that to a lot of situations, and so as far as being a director, that was crazy. But then going back to what you were saying, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm just excited. I say all that to say that in my research of, kind of this like directorial filmmaking boot camp that I put myself through, I learned a lot about actors and how to speak to actors, and there is a lot of ego involved, and not in a negative way. I'm saying, like, we as people, like, it's a very vulnerable thing to put yourself out there. So you don't want to do things like line reads. You don't want to say it exactly like this and then do that, because it's kind of like, hey, asshole, you direct and I'm going to act. But what's cool is, like, being an actor, oh my God, I'm going to cry. That's the first time I said that. Being an actor and a director, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna
we got
cry.
tissue somewhere. It's all right. It's all right.
No, it's just my dream, okay? So anyway, having that, I have such reverence and respect for my actors. But this motherfucker, I was just like, say it like this, damn it. I need you to say it exactly like this. But that's because, and I would even ask him, and I even told him that. I was like, there's this rapport between directors and actors. He's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, just tell me what it is. And then I kind of realized that's what Kevin and Jason have as well. Over these years, they just are so blunt and can talk to each other, and I think that's the difference between a true creative partnership. Sorry, I know I'm talking a lot.
That's great. What he said.
Well, I got to wrap. I have two quick things. I know I got to wrap up real quick.
8 inches. Oh, is that what you were going to
12.
But T-Man, actually, for talking about the idea of like kind of playing yourself in certain ways, though, is it true? Are you also a clothing designer as well? Is that any of that from your background?
I'm heavy into fashion, super big fashion head. I was actually Bob's stylist for several years.
He put me in everything I'm wearing.
We keep him fresh, make sure he's good, make sure I'm good, make sure the gang good. I love fly shit. That's what we about. So yeah, we on that.
Also, don't be scared. We got time. I'm excited.
I know you really can't say anything about it, so I feel it's pointless to ask. But have you spoken to Neil Druckmann yet and Craig Mason about reprising your role from The Last of Us Part 2 in the series?
That's so funny. I didn't. Well, I think I might have made a joke about it. So Neil Druckmann, who I absolutely love, this is his handwriting. These are the safe codes from the original Last of Us video game. Oh, shit. I've beat it over 30 times, and you would think I could memorize it, and I was just sick of constantly going on Google. But so I got it tattooed, and that doesn't really answer your question.
No, I realize, there's only so much you can say, even if you didn't.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd give you something else cool.
Dedicated,
I
guess.
am a geek. Like, you should see my den. Like, first of all, I look like I'm in a gang, but these are all just like anime tattoos and like video games. I got Solid Snake. I got the fucking Goonies dog. I got Kaneda from Akira and Son Goku and Philip J. Fry. It's a problem. I have a problem. I'm a nerd.
In terms of the black and white switch for the Jay and Silent Bob section,
nice.
Purely your idea, or Kevin said, I'm going to do this and force you to do it?
No, that was swagger.
No, that was all me. Everything you see in this film, yeah. I did this whole shit. Every single shot, everything you see came from my head. Yeah. Visually, I'm saying. You know what I mean? It was all there. Oh, and of course, with the aid of Kevin Fletch, my DP. And yeah, but the cool thing about that and why I chose to do it that way is because it starts with, me and Tremaine, right? And it's like we look like a white guy and a black guy making white and black jokes back and forth. And then I walk, and then there's a song, my song, with a DJ Drama, shout out DJ Drama, talking about being mixed race himself. And then I play chess and then walk outside and then it goes black and white. So it's almost like a meta biracial meme of like a joke like in the movie that I then visually wanted to like make super fun and creative, that then leads you into why it's actually black and white. So it's literally just black and white jokes into a black and white film into, oh wait, that's Jay and Silent Bob.
I love it. Perfect. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks. This is our first interview.
Because, you know, he's actually half black. And he's like, it's my identity. It's who I am. No, it's fucking not. You can't identify as black, moron.